Hopefully you can hear and see me. Let me get myself going here. I can't see myself. Where am I? Haha. I know I'm streaming. I just can't find it. Da 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 da. Where is it? Welcome, friends. It's time for Coffee on the Porch. This is a live stream that I do every Wednesday morning here from sometimes the porch, most often these days the studio. Coffee on the Porch with Eric. My name is Eric Folkerth. I am a pastor, musician, writer, blogger, all around social justice friend. And dadgum, I cannot find my... There we are. Boom. Okay. I couldn't find the feed. Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Good to see you guys. I am not playing any music, you probably are noticing, because I didn't plan for any. Let me make this a little brighter. Okay, I think I'm caught up with myself. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you here this morning. I'm going to noodle on the guitar a little bit. But I don't have any songs for y'all today. I know that sounds impossible, but there is, in fact, a reason for it, why I don't have songs today. Let me just noodle a bit while I welcome you. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning, Janie. Well, I may noodle on the guitar a bit during the day today, but y'all, I don't have a song ready for you. I know that seems impossible because I may still pull one out of my rear. Let me make you all a bit bigger so I can read what you're saying. I should be able to do that. Why isn't this working? Nope, it's going. Oh, there it is. Ah, much nicer. Much nicer. All right. Welcome. We got a lot of people here, but not a lot of people checking in. Go ahead and say hi to everybody, will you? Tell us you're here. Tell us where you're watching from. Jonathan is here. Debbie is here. David Griggs, my dear friend. And Jan Sozak. Welcome, Jan. You have found Coffee on the Porch with me. A live stream that I do every week for many, many years now. We've been here. David is saying he missed us last week. That's because we weren't here. We were very close. Did I get close? Okay, good. I was out last week, David. I did post that, so you may have just missed that. Notice that we weren't going to be here last week. Good morning, Carol Ann. Welcome to you. Jonathan is up in Castle Rock, Colorado. How close is that to Fort Collins and Denver? We have usual listeners from Fort Collins and Denver, and I don't know Colorado. I don't know Castle Rock. Well, a lot going on in our world. I am, I suppose, somewhat regretful that I wasn't here last week. There was a good reason for it. We had a clergy retreat. I was over in Fort Worth and unable to stream with you last Tuesday morning. But man, There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on in the world, and you may want to talk about that today. We talk about music, politics, spirituality, life. I often have a little something planned for you, which I do this morning. Good morning, Blue Bunny from Placitas, New Mexico. Which part of New Mexico is that? Curiously. See, these smaller places, y'all live in these wonderful small communities, but we don't know where they are, and maybe that's the point. I don't know. Jonathan says he's 25 minutes south of Denver. I know exactly where that is then. Oh, I know where that is. There is a Castle Rock, right? Isn't there there's some place in there where there's some sort of rock. Between Santa Fe and Albuquerque is Placitas. Wonderful. Fantastic. Excellent. Welcome, Jim Pritchett. All right, you're all showing up here. Coffee on the Porch. What we do is a time to check in with each other, and the first thing we do is we rest a bit. We sit with our drink of choice. In my case, my coffee. I got a whole mug to finish off here. I drink this whole thing, y'all. I drink a lot of coffee. That's why I have the big Coffee on the Porch mug, available to you should you wish to get a Coffee on the Porch mug. You can find that on the ericfolkerth.com website, and on the assuming you're right-handed. Sorry about this. You see this, which is our question on the floor. How is your soul? That's always the first question we ask ourselves as we gather here. How is your soul? Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Pause for a minute. Don't just say fine, but think about it. Think about how am I actually? What's this week been like? Not just for the world, but for me, my family, my friends. Man, I got to tell you, I gained weight again. Woo! September birthday cake. Mm-hmm. Good morning, John Bryant. John is one of our Colorado. So Jonathan, John, and Nancy join us from Fort Collins, Colorado, usually. There they are, both of them now. How's your soul? How you doing? Leave us a comment. That's what we do. You leave a comment, and then we talk about it for a bit. We talk about how we're doing, how we're getting along in the world, and I keep hitting this thing, which means it must not be in the right place. So I'm going to just noodle on the guitar. But anyway, I'll noodle a bit on the guitar while you leave us a comment. Wow, that's buzzing a lot. I'm looking for the capo. Will y'all leave us some comments? Ah. Good. Y'all are leaving lots of comments, and I'm doing some serious noodling today. I'm still looking for that capo. There it is. It's going to sound a lot better with a capo. Good morning, Lance. We're in the noodling part. How does that go? I did it a minute ago. Wow. This is what happens when I don't practice my own songs. There it is. Ah, that's it. I love those two chords. Okay, enough. Thank you for tolerating. Oh my Lord, that was a lot of. That was too much goofing around on the guitar. Honest to goodness, it was. Okay, thank you for tolerating that. Let me scroll back and see what you're saying. I think you're saying a lot. I'm sorry we weren't here last week. As I said, well, I'll talk about that a bit more. Dan Gilliam's asking me. It was great, Dan. The retreat was wonderful. It was good. I wish it was at a retreat center, not at a church, so we would feel like we were away, but it was good. Catbird says this, I'm contemplating my mortality. I am now at the same age my mother was when she received her terminal cancer diagnosis, and she died 4 months later. You know, Kat, those are sobering times, aren't they? And I know I can tell you about my own mother because she and I talked about this many times. Her mother died quite young. She died in her late 50s of breast cancer. I was 6 when she died. And when my mother got to that age, it's a very sobering moment when you get to that age that your parents were when they passed. What my mother did, interestingly, was to use that as a time to reinvent herself, frankly, and to say, I want to go back to work. I want a whole new part of my life. And it was pretty transformative. So, and she lived another 30 years. And so, you may have quite a bit more time, Kat. But what are you going to do with that time, right? What is that going to mean for you? I know you've had a lot of mortality on your mind lately. But what are you going to do with your time? It is Rosh Hashanah for our Jewish friends, such as Bobby and Debbie. And Bobby says, I don't want to miss Coffee on the Porch, so going to watch Rosh Hashanah later. Thank you for that. That means a lot. I know what that means. John Bryant says this: making spaghetti sauce with fresh garden ingredients was a soul healing experience yesterday. Man, cooking in the real world, when it's in your house, the aromas, mwah. It's amazing. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Linda Waring says this: my soul is busy. I try to keep up with all the news without becoming overwhelmed. I'm currently reading Chris Hayes' book, The Siren's Call. It's about attention and attention as a commodity. It's helped me to understand some of what's going on and how things are being pushed at us the way they are. I highly recommend this book, Linda. I think, hopefully you remember, we have talked about this book. We did a couple of Coffee on the Porches where I talked about what I learned from that book, and you're absolutely right. In fact, my observation, if you remember, at the end, authors sometimes say, well, here's some of the things we could do about it, And he talks about meditation, and I wish he had reminded himself of his own Christian tradition, which has a meditation component as well, centering prayer, for example, which is a very mystical Christian tradition. He talked a lot about Buddhism. It's fine, nothing against it. I'm just saying that we have tools that some of us have as tradition, and I think it would be good for us to remember that. That's what I'm saying. So check that out. Keep reading that book and keep talking about it. And everyone else, it's a really powerful, important book. It really is. Jonathan says this. My church has recently welcomed a number of worshipers who happen to be part of the LGBTQ community, including a family with children. However, I remain concerned the UMC has left open the door for local congregations to not be as accepting. The harm done to those who come to believing that all churches are accepting is real. Jonathan, I think that is a fair critique. I think it is a fair critique. And, what happened here was our vote was not unanimous. And there are churches that are more welcoming and some that are not as welcoming. And I think it is... I have a friend texting me who I guess doesn't realize I'm on a live stream. I'm going to put my reduce interruptions on. Sorry about this. Anyway, I think that's a very fair critique. I think that's all I can say about it today. There's more work to do, as there is in our society. There is more work to do, as we certainly, hopefully, understand. And I do think that, we gotta figure out ways to bring people along who are not there yet, for sure. That is a piece of it. David Griggs says this, trying to make it through all the depressing news and more depressing reactions to it, but inspired by the one bright spot of the week, amazing performances at the end of Farm Aid by Neil Young and Willie Nelson, still going strong after all these years. Willie's Last Leaf on a Tree was particularly powerful. I've heard a lot about that event. I did not see any of it. Dan, good morning, Sharon Chapman. Dan Gilliam says, amen to having a retreat at a retreat center, otherwise call it continuing education. If you're not given time to rest in a retreat, right? Yeah. Oh, and Carol Ann says this, and I'm sorry, I just zipped past it. Yay, Jimmy Kimmel. I guess I'll be walking. I guess I'll be watching tonight, watching that. Yeah, Linda, I don't remember when that was. I was talking about it in terms of spiritual attention, because I think he really is on to something, and I wish he had plumbed the. He talks a lot about psychologically and socially what it means for us to not have attention the way we do. But we pastors, this is our calling, is to call you to attending to asking how your soul is, to attending to the inner life, which can help us deal with all the siren calls that are dinging at us and the dopamine that's dinging at us all the time. Yeah, we did talk about it, and I'm sorry I don't remember when it was. Well, we've got a nice crew here today, and thank you for being here. As I said, I haven't really prepared a song, although I may pull one out of my rear depending on time. A couple of reminders to start. If you want to find us live, Substack does a great job of dinging you if you are a subscriber. But if you need a little moment to get ready, say it's 9:30 and you get that and you say, oh dang, I'm not in a place where I can watch. Well, I send a little reminder about 30 minutes ahead of time. It comes from here. So you can scan that QR code and get a little text reminder about our gatherings here. Feel free to do that. Happy to have you do that. The big news from me is what you see on the screen here and what I announced to you last week. I am putting out a new record. I still, it seems so crazy to say that. But I am. I'm going to do it, and I'm doing it pretty quickly, mostly so I don't either talk myself out of it or get too precious with it. I'm just going to put it out there. This is the cover, and this is the information about it. I'm calling it Unfinished Business. And it comes to us all out of a discovery. That's me on both sides. On the left, you see there, that is a picture that was supposed to be on my 2004 record. That was the idea. That was, I think, my father. No, actually, I think my friend Carolyn Herder took that picture. And then this is a picture on the right. The right half of that picture is right here, couple weeks ago here at home. So that symbolizes for me what this record is. It is a lot about the past. It's a lot about the songs that never made it out for many reasons that I talked about in tortured language last year. But it's what happened was, and I talked about this last week, in the closet, I said to myself, I was going to start a new record this spring. And I said, but there were a couple of songs that I recorded decades ago that I've always wanted to release, that I believed I had lost the master tracks to. And it is, in fact, still true that some material is missing. We don't have to go into all the details of that. But I thought it was all gone. And so that's why I moved on and I put out that record last year. Turns out that's only half true. In the back of my closet, I found this thing full of CDs. And specifically, I found these CDs, which my friend Clark Finley had burned for me. How did I miss that I had this? These are the original tracks. Back in the day, before removable hard disks and before cloud storage, Clark and I would work and we'd burn a CD, right? It holds a lot of data. So we would burn these CDs, and then he eventually burned the original tracks to what, one, two, I'm not even going to count them all. It's a bunch of songs that we were working on back in 2002. Now, what happened after that was some other tracks did get stolen, and then some others are just lost to bankruptcy that Clark's studio went through, or other reasons, hard drive failures. All these things combined meant that some of it just is not around. So what I've been able to do is cobble together these pretty clean tracks in some cases, along with and sync them with demos, clean them up, scrub them up digitally, master them, and now they're coming out. And I'm so excited. So these 16 songs are basically the rest of the 2 albums that I imagined would come out in 2004 and then 2012, neither of which happened. But there's always been this other material out there, and I just moved on with the record last year. So, Bobby, you can pre-order right now. If you are interested in a CD, a physical CD, I am very pleased to tell you that the pre-order link is right on my website. In fact, I think that was what my friend was texting me about just now. I think I got my first pre-order while we were here. I'm going to post this link, but see, unfortunately, Substack doesn't let live links. There's the link, but you can go to ericfolkerth.com, and the link is right there at the top of the page to pre-order a CD if that's what you're interested in. So the digital release will be next Monday, and the physical CD should be in a couple of weeks after that. That's my guess. Mid-October is what I'm projecting. I'm floored. I really am floored about this. And look, for those of us in the folk music world, this is one of the things I've had several friends comment about this to me. This idea that I have a couple of songs from Rachel Bissix. I really do. Rachel was a dear, dear folk musician. You've heard me tell the story of Tom Prasada Rao, whose picture is right here. Tom, in his studio, had a picture of Rachel, who died 20 years ago. And she came and recorded and did a couple of songs, and one of them is gorgeous. It's a song that people love to hear me do. It's Free My Hands, which is based on based on The Bridge, that story that you like, I know, and that many of you like. And so there's an amazing version of that. I'm just going to tell this story because every song kind of has a story. But here was the problem. I had original tracks of me, guitar, vocal. I had original tracks of Rachel. I did not have anymore original tracks of Tim McLemore playing piano. And I did not have, there's a harmony vocal that she did, and I did not have those. So I had half of it, see? And then, so I tried to, for many years, I tried to weave together 2 of the demos. It's super technical. They were obviously mixed and mastered with different processes, so the files actually change a little underneath. You can actually see it if you look at the waveforms. You can see how they kind of expand and contract, and so they don't line up sometimes. Well, I was able, technology has improved a great deal. And so I was able to line up some of this stuff and retrack a bit. And that was the song that really caused this whole thing. This whole thing. That song was why I went back looking for original tracks. I thought, well, I really would like to put out Free My Hands, that song. And lo and behold, I found all the rest of it. And I just am, my jaw hit the floor. Really, it did. Because what happens is as you work, all these CDs, we built on top of those. We built layers on top of that over the next few years. So then you're working from the layers. See, you're not working from the original tracks. I just forgot I had the CDs. I thought they were all on a removable hard drive. I knew that was gone. So it was, man, it's just, I'm so excited. 16 songs. Some of them are really good. They really sound good. They sound exactly like I always hoped they would. There's 3 or 4 that are just kind of demos. They're going to be demos. Hey, buddy. Hey, Frank. 3 or 4 of these songs are just demos. They got goofs. They've obviously got clicks and stuff where you can hear my hand or breathing or things like that. And it's just leaving that. There's even talking at one point. You can kind of hear a voice briefly in the background. By the way, you can hear that on a Beatles song, so I don't feel too bad. And a part of what I'm doing here is saying to myself, not to be precious about this anymore. Just put it out, and I'm going to enjoy it, and hopefully other people will enjoy it too. So, pre-order a CD now if you enjoy CDs, and look forward to next Monday, my mother's birthday. September is our birthday month, and in honor of my birthday, hers, and all our Maria's, and my grandmother, and all the others, unfinished business. There's going to be a lot of business finally finished, coming soon to you. Again, digitally next Monday, 6 days from now. And then if you want to pre-order a CD, you can do that right now at ericfolkerth.com. So, man, this has happened quick, y'all. And this is the better angel of myself pushing me to do this, because I know myself, and I know that if I took my time, it might never happen. So I'm kind of proud of myself that I just, once I found it, I jumped on it. I jumped on it, and so that's why I don't have any songs for you today, because I've really just been working on this. This has been consuming my evenings. Bless Maria and Denise are right here till way late into the mornings. I've been working on this, and it's ready. It's ready to go. Unbelievable. So happy. Good morning, James Myers. Friends, if you are in North Oak Cliff, come join us at Kessler Park for Wednesday Night Live, our children's evening, 5:45 to 7:30 p.m. They play, free play. They have dinner. They have a brief story blessing time with Pastor K. Y'all, we had, this is not a preacher number, 71 children last Wednesday night. New number, it is through the roof, crazy good what's happening with Wednesday Night Live, and that is all attributable to Pastor K. Reminding those in Kessler Park that we will be celebrating our 100-year anniversary with a special worship and all-church lunch on October 19th. At least 3 of our former pastors are scheduled to be here, and we would love for you to sign up for the lunch now. Please do sign up for lunch and tell us that you're going to be there. So my Wednesday church has almost that many kids. Good. We don't have that many kids usually at Kessler Park. Well, y'all, as I think you know, it was my birthday Sunday. I had to work. The rest of the staff abandoned me, by the way. Kay was out. She was at a retreat. She was at a retreat with kids. And Ken Kelly was on vacation, so I held down the fort, did the children's time. Maria brought me a birthday crown. And what did I do to celebrate my birthday? Well, actually, I spent my birthday at an immigration seminar put out by the Horizon Texas Conference. I was very proud to be a part of a little planning team. And so in the afternoon on Sunday, I was in Frisco. We had 200 plus people who either joined us in person or online for this event. And it was wonderful. It was fantastic, actually. A lot of resources. I'm going to tell you, friends, I'm very proud of how United Methodists have been stepping up in this time, concerned about how our brown neighbors are being treated, citizens even being detained, questioned, fearful that they might be, people going through the process being literally ripped off the streets by ICE. So I'm very proud of how United Methodists are stepping up in this time. And we have our continuing clergy vigil at ICE headquarters. Lay folks are absolutely welcome. Any of you are of goodwill are welcome to join us 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every Monday outside ICE headquarters on Stemmons. If you want details, I'll give you details and would love to have you come. You are most welcome to join us. We have a lot of lay folks. We always have a lot of clergy coming as well. But I did celebrate with Denise and Maria on Saturday. We went to Meow Wolf. I think our New Mexico friends will know what Meow, and maybe our Denver friends. I think there's one in Denver too. Man, this place is fun. It's a lot of fun. It's what I wanted to do for my birthday. So we celebrated on Saturday, not on Sunday. Y'all, I'm going to take a little time out, personal privilege, and tell you a story today about me and about my birthday. I know there's a lot going on. I know. Well, let me talk about Charlie Kirk just briefly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, honestly. I said online, and I will say this every time, Charlie Kirk believed in a very different kind of Christianity than I do. This is a very good example of how there are different kinds of Christianity in our world today. Charlie Kirk has very different social views than I do. And I profoundly disagree with the way that he engaged in debate. Charlie Kirk did not debate people. He argued with people. He shut people down. He answered questions with questions. And I found his style, that combative style, to actually increase anxiety and not really foster actual conversation. That's just me. You don't have to agree with that. So all of that said, he did not deserve to die. There is no conceivable way that he did deserve to die. Period. End of story. And we must be very clear about that. And not even to say, y'all, it's not even to say, well, karma, No. It's not karma. It's not deserving it. But all of the rhetoric that happens in our world today, right now, is so harsh. I've said this for 15 years, that those who are unhinged, those who have mental challenges, mental illness sometimes, can take these words and they can be weaponized. And that can happen on all sides, depending on the rhetoric. It absolutely can. Now, look, you want to say, we can get into a very pointless conversation about this side commits more murder than this side. In my opinion, I think that's true. The rhetoric, if it's harsh and stirring the pot, if, like in the Chris Hayes book that Linda's reading right now, if we're constantly dinged with our attention, and what we're dinged with is fear and division and lies sometimes, then yes, it is reasonable to assume that some unhinged people will take things into their own hands. It's wrong and it shouldn't happen. So that's about all I can say for that. I don't. I did say, and I tried to encourage people to do this. I am. This is. I will say this one thing, because this is. I'm confident true. The different siloed groups, left and right, are being fed different clips of Charlie Kirk. 100% I know that is true, because I've now heard the story at least 3 times from friends of mine who are on the more left side of things, who saw some of his more disturbing things that he would say, who have conservative Christian friends on the right who never saw these things, who were fed instead clips of him talking about faith, talking about some, American values of some kind. I don't know. I don't watch those clips. I didn't really watch him much either way. I did know about him ahead of time because I had read up on this stuff. But it is very clear, and I know this is so because I've had 3 people now tell me this story of people cross-talking with each other across these silos, where the conservative friend, evangelical Christian, who loved Charlie Kirk and think it's horrible that he's dead, as do I, were sent clips of him saying things that they'd never seen before. Clips of him saying things about gay people or African Americans, as 2 examples. And, or the Civil Rights Act, just slamming the Civil Rights Act. And so these conservative friends were just gobsmacked because they'd never seen this. Meanwhile, liberal friends had never seen the faith stuff that he used to talk about. So it's very clear to me that we are being siloed with these siren calls, as Chris Hayes would say. And that's about all I want to say about that today. I'm going to let those who are grieving him grieve, as they should have the right to do so, right? They should. He had real friends in the real world, real family in the real world that loved him from the minute he was born. And that's my transition to what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about my grandfather. And if you watch the Kessler Park feed and our worship, then you've already seen some of this. I am going to play you an audio clip of my grandfather, Frank Folkerth. Frankie, as we called him. This is him out in front of our house in Preston Hollow. And that is me, baby me. And that is probably the first time he ever met me, that visit, I'm going to guess. I don't know. It might be the second. I'm not sure. But Frankie and my grandmother lived on the Kentucky side of Cincinnati in a little town called Park Hills, Kentucky. Yeah, y'all, feel free to note the things he said. Look, it is fair game to talk about the things he really said. It's also compassionate to say he had friends who are grieving. We can walk and chew gum, I think. And the fact that we can't is a part of our problem. The fact that we demand that he now be seen as all good or all evil is, I think, a part of our problem right now. Yeah. There's all sorts of things that are going to be said that will not be true. And the only thing we can do is respond with the truth, as Nancy's done here, to simply say, no, it's not true. It didn't happen. I'm going to move on. I want to talk about my grandfather. My grandparents and my parents, back in this day, in the early 1960s, used to exchange audio tapes with each other. In fact, I have behind me. I just realized this. The original, yeah, right in this box back here. The original reel-to-reel tape player. And they long distance calls were expensive. So instead of making long distance calls, they would make a tape, and they would get the reel to reel, they'd put it out on the table, and they'd just talk into it. And then later we kids did that. We would talk into it. And they would turn it off and on, so that they would talk for a minute and say, "Okay, I got to go do this, I'll be back." And then end up being a 30-minute tape that they would send back and forth. So a lot of these got taped over, but there's probably 10 or 15 that still exist, including this one from September 21st, 1962. And I want to play you, I know this seems a little, there's a point to this that I'm going to make here, because it's a beautiful example of what it's like to hear somebody get this kind of good news. So I digitized them with my father years ago, and we found this one from my birthday. I'm going to play it from my phone, and I'm going to hope that you're going to be able to hear it. If you have trouble hearing this, then you let me know. So Frankie, you're going to hear clicks on here. This is him turning it off and on, and I've edited it out. You're going to hear him start the day. He's going to start talking about that it's September 21st, 1962, and he's going to start talking about what he's doing. He's going to wash the windows. It's the solstice. It's the turn toward fall. It's starting to get cooler. So he's getting ready for winter, and he's telling my mom and dad about all of that. Okay? So here he is. Let's see if you can hear this.
Well, right now it's Friday morning, September the 21st, about 10 in the morning. Boy, it's been pretty chilly around here. So yesterday evening, I oiled the blower on the furnace and got the thing going. This morning, I have my work cut out for me. I've got to get the storm windows up and these things on the front door, the glass in the front door. It's a beautiful day here. The sun's shining and just beautiful. Now I have to wash the windows, take out the screens and wash the storm windows. They're filthy. Right now it's the same day, only about 3:30 p.m. I did do the windows and the storm windows and have the storm windows in, plus the ones in the storm door, front door. Well, I have another project here, and I don't know what to do about it. There are plants that I have to take care of. 2 gardenias in a big pot, in big pots, 3 poinsettias in big pots, 1 tropical plant, no name, I don't know what it is. Then the 2 speckled ones, like the one you had down in Dallas, Pat, honey, in the front bedroom. And they've grown, 26 to 29, 30 inches tall. And then that striped affair, like a zebra, only it's real dark green with white stripes in it, and so help me, it's about 28 inches tall, and in the top is coming a bloom. I have no idea what it is. Plus 2 rubber plants, plus 2 magnolia trees from Texas. Now, you know I have to take care of all of them, and I don't see how I can get any more on the side of this little tape, and I'll turn it over. Did you ever try to wash windows with the sun shining on them? Well, that's what I must do right now. And I have to take off or I'll never get it done. I'll take off a minute now. Well, right now it's nearly 2 hours after you called, Dick. Actually, I'm trying to keep it down. I'm so damn excited it's brutal. I think it's wonderful. Wonderful because Pat is all right and the baby is all right. And you're all right, I imagine, Dick. You pulled through it, didn't you? Well, I didn't think you would, you know? But I've been on the telephone pretty much in the last 2 hours. I called Union City and I blotched up that business because some gal answered at the home up there. I tried to call Leah and Homer, and that didn't work out. Then I called Jack's residence, And Carol answered, little Carol. She said Jerry was down in Cincinnati. I told Carol about it. She said she called Jack, and I called Sandy across the river. I called the people over at the hotel. Of course, everyone wonders, is it a boy? Is it a girl? You know something? I'll tell you truthfully. For me, just so you all were well. I like little girls. I like little boys. Well, I know one thing, and that's for sure. That come the time your mother gets home, we're calling Atlanta, Texas, and talk to your dad and mother, Pat. And that's for sure. My God, Dick, take care of the baby. 19 inches long. Isn't that something? Oh, well, that'll be the day when I can see that young buck. That's for awful sure. Oh, I think it's wonderful.
How about that? That tape probably goes on for 30 minutes. The first 25 of it is, there's other stuff about him moving his pipe tobacco because my grandmother's annoyed with him, cleaning out the bird feeder in the back, all these other, he's just going about his day. It's just a normal day. He's cleaning the windows. He's putting away the plants for the winter. And then all of a sudden he gets news that just changes everything, right? Changes his life. And you hear that joy in his voice, right? You hear it. It's real. What I'm here to say to you is that even in the midst of this difficult time, when you were young, there were people in your life with that kind of joy, either on the day you were born or very soon after. People who celebrated your life with great joy. And I think one of the things we're missing in our world right now is the ability to just celebrate with people when they celebrate, and to grieve with people when they grieve, and to not have to make a point or score a point in one way or the other. The gospel lesson on Sunday was I basically I took the one from the week before, and we talked about the lost coin and the lost sheep, and how Jesus says there's rejoicing, and that the woman says to her friends, and the shepherd says to people, come and celebrate with me. Celebrate with me. For what was lost is now found. We've lost that ability to just celebrate with people, even in the middle of a hard time. Yes? I think we have to regain that some, and we have to understand the kind of equanimity that we all really need to be able to take what comes and to be able to say, okay, I may not be in a good place right now. I may be worried about impinging fascism. I may be worried about my own family who's going through a hard time, health concerns, whatever. But celebrate with those around you who are experiencing joy. Celebrate with those who celebrate. Mourn with those who mourn. And that's why I can say, although I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk, I understand that there are genuine, true, grieving human beings, flesh and blood humans who are very sad about his loss. I'm not even talking about average people. I'm talking about his family, his friends, his grandfather, those who knew him. They're in mourning, and I really genuinely, truly pray for them. I do. And we all should. So I hope that even though it's a difficult time, just know that God celebrates you. Really does. Every day of your life. God has that joy of my grandfather for your life. For your life. And your life is worthy and good, no matter how it feels. The world gets very rough. I can't tell you what an incredible blessing it was when I had that tape going and I heard Frankie say, it's September 21st, 1962. I went, huh? What? I knew this was going to be special. But it was just an ordinary day, y'all. Just a normal, ordinary day. And then everything changed. And sometimes things change for the worse. And in our world today, what's happening is we get all the news about the terrible things that happen. And we really do fail, all of us, myself included, to take the moment to celebrate the simple joys of our lives, the things that do go well, the blessings that we do have even in the midst of challenging times, impending fascism. So please do that. Please find the time to celebrate your joys such that they are, to remember the people who loved you when you were born, whether you knew it or not, or when you were young. Maybe you are adopted. Maybe it's your adopted parents at some later point. And God has that same joy in your life, for your life. And just know that that's real. And don't lose sight of that. That's one of the things that will help you stay centered in this challenging time. So happy birthday to me, and thank you to my grandfather for recording that 63 years ago. I'm very sober, by the way. I am now a year older than he was when he recorded that. Man, I got to tell you, he sounds like an old fart in that. Look at that. See that picture there? He's a year younger than I am now. Oh, boy. Yeah, 60 is the new 40, I keep telling myself. Yeah. Let me read your final comment. Thank you for indulging that. I hope I did that on Sunday. I played it on Sunday, and people seemed genuinely moved by it. Don't just be moved for my sake. Understand what it means for your life. Please, this is why I'm doing it. To understand that that kind of joy was expressed for your life when you were a child. I promise you it was. And hold on to that. Hold on to that cloud of witnesses that is with you still. James Myers says this, I have my dad, this is wonderful. I have my dad's practicing tenor clarinet on Sears portable reel-to-reel. EF isn't the sound of your father's voice magical? It is for me. It really is. Yeah, it is. We have, at the lake house, it was Dad's voice on the answering machine. And we left it on there for a decade after he died. And we have now changed it because the answering machine, it's a long story. We've changed it. And but we recorded it, so we could keep that. Yeah. I know people who do that a lot. I have a whole other generation of tapes of answering machine messages from my past. All right. Frank Rahm says this. I recorded an interview with Betty, his mother-in-law, just before she died. The recording is a treasure in our family. Y'all, if you have those ancient wise ones in your family, tell them to sit down and record with you, or do it yourself. Just get your phone and tell your own story and leave it for your ancestors. They will so appreciate that. All right, Dan Gilliam says, wonderful message today. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. A couple more reminders as we leave. As we said, surprise record coming out next week. Unfinished Business, finally finished. Me of 25 years ago, me today, all mixed together on one new record. I, of course, have the record from last year, which you can still get, and I'll make you a deal. You can get both of, if you're interested in both of them, you get them both for $15 if you're interested in CDs, or, of course, you can find them on your streaming platforms. Come and see us at Kessler Park. Oh, I had a picture of the clergy retreat that I just skipped over. Clergy retreat. Did I show this to you? I can't remember. I guess I skipped over it. Anyway, Frank and I were there. Frank was my roommate for clergy retreat, and we had a great time. We had a great time there. Okay, friends, that's going to pretty much do it for this week. I am grateful that you've been with us for this hour and for my own self-indulgence on my own past. Thank you for that. Look, take care of your loved ones. Take care of yourself. Oh, Bobby's saying this. I still have recordings I made in Israel, from Israel to family and friends in 1978 when I was living on the kibbutz. Wow, amazing. That's a gift. That's a gift. All right, y'all. You have a good week, okay? Breathe in, breathe out. Take time for yourselves. And we'll see you next time on Coffee on the Porch. Bye-bye.